Chafing Armor Podcast, Episode 39, Bored to Death. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovely Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. And with me today is James. James, tell everyone who you are playing.
Hello, everyone. My name's James, and I'm playing Penton Shellis, a spell scale sorcerer of renown.
Renown indeed. And with us, growing renown of explosive nature. And with us also is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you are playing.
I am playing a gnome cleric named Tix Birchmanson, who has no love of wood carving.
No, indeed, even though he's been doing some wood repairing indirectly. And with us also is Lee. Lee, tell everyone who you are playing.
Oh, method actors.
I'm Lee, and I'm playing a bear.
You are
specifically
indeed.
Osakai, the shifter ranger.
Yes, he is wearing something that currently has him taking on the appearance of a bear. And also not a bear is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you are playing.
Marezi Mugra, a large half-orc barbarian who owns a lizard.
Indeed. And right now you are going back into the ship to see that your lizard Aki, she is enjoying the delicious rats that scurry about in the bottom of the ship and is chasing after them one by one. Nom, 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 and then sitting there very contentedly among the bilgy water. Just a quick question. Does anybody want to do anything with that body of the drow that you dispatched earlier?
I want to go
Search it.
drag it back up onto the top deck after Penton has finished patching the hole and search it thoroughly.
Okay. So first of all, you find... Ooh, not bad. You find 11 gold, so you can add that to your total on him. You also find a set of leather armor, of course, that is all dark and sneaky looking. You also find he has a curious tattoo that you do not recognize. And as you pull him out into the sunlight, you've seen drow before, either up close or far away, and they have dark indigo skin. And so does he. But when you pull him out into the sunlight, his skin glitters like scales.
Oh god, it's Edward Cullen!
As terrifying an aspect of that is, no, he is not a sparkly vampire. But you have seen someone else whose skin sparkles like scales.
Yes, we have. Can I ask the obvious question? Is that leather armor able to stretch to my large orcish arms?
No. You are too big.
Checking.
You are too big for it.
Yeah, elves in D&D are like 5 foot, and I'm 6'5", so...
Yes, he is tall for an elf, but he is slender, and it would definitely not fit you.
I believe you can pay to get it refitted, though.
Absolutely you can.
Not worth the time. I was just thinking, like, some very temporary armor.
So
because you are currently...
Just out of character, please take it. I want it.
Okay, I'll take it, thinking, this looks like the leather that one bear guy uses.
Yes, the one who is totally not completely a bear right now.
Sorry, I should have... Is that better?
Oh, you want the armor? Oh, okay.
Okay. Why didn't you just say so? You do also find a contract.
That's what I thought.
And it is in very simple terms in Elven. Does anyone speak Elven?
I don't.
can't even read.
Funnily enough,
Marezi can't read. What do you expect her to speak 6 languages?
Osukai does, but he's not here.
Well,
Yep.
we're not going to throw it away, so we'll get a good look at it later.
Right. So you set that aside, and the crew and everyone are coming up, and they're like, "Holy crap! A drow. What's going on here?" And it's quite a to-do.
Yeah. So I just wanted to take a closer look. So this drow is a spell scale?
It's hard to tell, particularly the fact that he is dead.
Well,
This is what. Well, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
okay. 15.
15. He is not exactly like you, but he is unmistakably dragon touched.
What shade of color?
Very good question. They are iridescent, but you would say most likely they are probably black scales.
Okay.
Evil dragons.
Telling. Yes.
Hey, obviously Marezi doesn't know this. That I don't know if she's paying attention to the color of the scales, but does she remember what color that big dragon god looking dude was when she had the horrible vision?
Well, it was a giant lizard, yes, he was like a brownish green. I mean, he was not.
Okay.
He looked like a giant lizard man.
I'm just very confused about that whole thing, and if anything is related to it, I want to know.
Oh, no.
This is tearing me up inside, and probably freaking out Marezi a lot.
No, I think that's very good role playing. That you'd be like seeing like, is this anything to do with that? Is this anything to do with that? You really want to know, because it came completely out of left field and was not related to anything else as far as you're aware.
They're all here for the bottled wyvern.
That's right. They're all after that sweet, sweet bottled wyvern. And one more time, Pinton, would you make a perception check for me?
I will. That's an 18 plus 2 is 20.
20. You hear a voice. You hear a voice in your mind. And it is coming from the hut. Quick question, by any chance, do you speak Draconic?
I do.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Don't have your character sheet right here in front
I
of me.
do. Common and Draconic are my two.
Mm-hmm. In a very coarse, unrefined, when you have had you haven't met that many dragons,
Right.
but you have met some on your adventures, particularly because of your interests. Dragons speak in the way Sir Richard Attenborough speaks when he talks about nature. It's just so eloquent. Mm-hmm. And this is like the version of Cockney. It's very coarse and rough, but it is unmistakably Draconic. And it says, Unger. And now we'll cut to that boar. That boar is coming right towards Osukai, and it is saying,
There it is. Ironically,
That's
he's
all right.
very.
We can finish the episode now. It's all done.
That's right.
Goodbye, everybody.
We're
Have a
done.
good night.
We finished the podcast.
That's right.
Ironically,
We are
he's
done.
very personable.
That's right. He just wants hugs. I would like you, Osukai, to roll for initiative.
Okay. It's a 5.
5. That's fascinating because he got a 6.
Okay.
Zuana actually got a 6 as well. I'm going to say that she has a higher dex than the boar rushing at. So she is going to stomp her staff into the ground, and a bunch of vines spread out as she says the single word that you have heard her say and heard your other self say not so long ago. And this boar is going to He saves, and he is charging at you so fast he just tears right through the vines, and is still coming towards you, though his speed is somewhat lessened. That means that it is actually his turn, and he is going to try to gore you. Huh, that's a natural 20.
Ooh. What is it with Osokai and getting killed by wildlife?
Yeah, I know.
Natural 20s or natural 1s, yeah.
Yeah, they seem to go. So let's see how he does damage-wise. So he does a total of, 12 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
So you are... And tell everybody what your total hit point is.
36.
36, yes, which is very, very good. Because, but, you instantly just suffered a third of your hit points going whoop. So that was a really good hit as he slams into you. And it is now your turn, and you sense an intelligence is the wrong word, but an intelligence beyond that of a regular boar. You sense something magical about him, something that is unusual, a connection to him, whether that's because of the kill that you landed when you were in Jackson's body or something else you do not know. But it is now your turn.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry. I am struggling to math and I suck.
It's okay. I can cut it out later, and you sound like you did it instantly.
No.
Did it before you
Leave it
were
all in.
told to roll.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I thought it was that. I just had to double check. My math is not great. Okay. Osokai has just been gored. But he's still feeling okay. He's a little off put. So a boar is usually about 4 foot tall at the shoulder.
Yes,
So
and he is a full size boar. He's a big boy.
So he's full grown boar about 4 foot at the shoulder. So let's grapple this bad boy.
Go for it.
Actually, we're going to shift, then grapple this bad boy. But because I'm currently disguised, shifting won't actually do much. I'll just move faster as this big bear. So with that gives me a natural 20 on the die.
Oh, right back at him.
Right back at him.
As you shift and become more bear-like, and to the observer who's not there, you would look exactly the same because you look like a big bear. And you lock on to this thing, and what are you trying to do?
I'm just going to hold it down, stare lovingly into its eyes.
Okay. I would like you to make a animal handling roll, please.
That's also a natural 20 on the die.
Whoa.
But since it's a skill check, it doesn't matter. So it's 24.
You are correct. It is not the same as an attack, but it is nevertheless a success. And you look into his eyes, and in that moment, you see loneliness. You see the sorrow that it has. The only reason that the hags didn't kill it is because they knew that it would torture the poor, stupid beast to know that its master was nearby and in constant, unending pain, but could not die. And in that moment, it understands, because when it walked with its necromantic master, it would pick up little bits of its magic, and in that way picked up a small amount of intelligence, certainly not human level, but certainly more than a boar. And it suddenly understands that you actually stopped its master's suffering. And its perception changes. It is going to try to break out of your grapple. Well, actually, that's Suana's turn, and she doesn't know what to do because you're grappling it, so she doesn't do anything. So now it does. And it gets a total of 19.
Alright, opposed grapple check. I'm going to pay for this so much. That's another 20 on the die, so that was a total of 28.
I would like to ask if you're doing anything further to calm it or to stop it.
The grapple is an attempt to just hold it in place. But Ozugai is no longer going to restrict its movement. He's just going to, well, I say not restrict it. He's not going to hold on as tight, since he can kind of sense that there's no longer any danger from the boar, or at least that's the sense he gets. But he still would like to at least impart strong impart of that it is safe.
Okay.
You are safe.
And you send that message to the boar, and you hear this odd, like, like several times as it seems to be like reconciling what you're saying with its reality. And it shakes itself, and it actually starts to trot off towards the woods. But you get the sense that it's not running away from you. You get the sense that it wants some time alone, perhaps? And what would you like to do?
The urge to go, oh, Kermie, is so strong right now. I'm going to let it go with a plaintive,
and it looks back at you, and you hear this one more, and then it goes into the woods. And Zuana says, what the hell was that?
Ozukai, still in bear form, obviously,
Uh-huh.
but has reverted to his normal form underneath the bear. Simply says, we'll find out.
Indeed you will. And now you hear a sound, and that is the sound of our adventurers knocking on the door at the office. This is actually not on the boat. This is actually at the shipping office of Loft. And the door opens, and you see a very dour Loft looking out at all of you.
Hello, Loft.
Greetings,
How are you?
Scalawag.
Tried to take our chicken hut.
I'm sorry, all I can hear whenever Tick says that is just this... I've got this munchkin voice in my head. Hello, Scallywag. I don't know why, because I know gnomes don't talk like that. They might have a slightly higher pitch, but not by much. But that's all I can hear in my head is this dour-looking gruff gnome with his axe and his shining armor, and every time he speaks, he's, hello, Scallywag. I just can't get it out of my head, and I'm sorry.
Hello, Scalawag!
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Yep.
Mickey?
Why'd you try and steal our hut?
He says, won't you all come in for tea?
That's not ominous.
We have much to discuss, and I brushed past him.
A small cabin boy, for lack of a better term, is sort of attending to him, and he runs off to get a tea tray, and he gestures for all of you to sit down. There's a room in the back that's basically his office, and then you assume the other room is probably Duncan's, and then there's a meeting room with a slightly larger table where several people can sit, and he gestures for you all to sit down.
I do not sit.
Okay?
I'll sit. That's fine.
And he doesn't say anything, and there's a pause, and the little cabin boy comes scurrying back, and he has tea, which he pours out for everyone, and he sets out a small, setting of various things to add to it, honey and sugar, and there's also a small plate of scones out as well.
I'll eat the scones with my mouth open.
And
rudely.
I give the orc a dour look, as if saying, don't eat anything here.
I give him a dour look back. I'm great.
Nom. All right, you chow down into it, and he says, I understand that, and he gestures, grandly with one long-fingered hand to you, Penton, that you were able to effect repairs on the piss whistle.
And I fixed the boat.
That beautiful image of this dour-looking man saying the words piss whistle.
Yes, I fixed the piss whistle, and the boat's in good shape, too.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, Michael.
Yes. So yes, I did affect some repairs on the boat itself. Thought I'd save some time and money for everyone.
Well, it would appear that and his teeth clench together for a full 20 seconds.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it's a very awkward pause, and the only
see your
sound
dentist.
is the slow chewing of the loud chewing of Morezi as it was a small plate of scones, and they are just gone. They are no more. There's nothing but crumbs there.
I just
Ex-scones.
imagine Loft sort of hissing through his teeth the entire 20 seconds.
Yes.
Maybe he's hissing like a 2006 emo kid.
There you go. And he says,
Wishing My Chemical Romance was still put together.
I'll see if I can pull that up for this episode. He says, it would seem that I owe you all an apology. My understanding was that you had no intention of paying the proper fee, and so I contracted a local magic dealer to take your property as lien.
Before even an hour had passed since you handed us the bill, and I said we would see about it. And so you were basically trying to steal our stuff after you had said that the bill was due the next day. Am I stating this correctly?
You are, and I can but apologize, because it seemed to me that if I did not act soon, you would take that long-legged hut and, just walk right out of town, and I would be out of luck.
Even with the state of my personal relationship with your partner, I wonder what the magistrates will have to say if they investigate how you have dealt with other passengers on your ship.
He shifts ever so slightly in his chair at the mention of the word magistrates, and he says, that is why I wanted to speak with all of you. I thought perhaps we could come to some sort of arrangement.
I'm sure we can come to just as suitable an arrangement as you would have offered for us. What are you thinking, Scalawag?
Yes, well, as it happens, my liquid currency is in flux at the moment, as many of our ships have not returned, as the Sand Swallow Sea is perilous. As such, I have some alternatives that I could make available to you.
Just spit it out. Just make your point.
I do appreciate your directness and your repairs of the ship. In effect, I have information that you might find valuable.
Well,
All right.
Loft, maybe you better start spitting it out. I'm finding my time becoming more and more expensive as we sit here with your pregnant pauses.
Yes. As it happens, I have been made aware that, he leans forward very dramatically, there has been a contract taken out on your lives.
And we already knew that.
And he looks up at you, and he takes a long, sip from his tea. As you could tell, he's like stall for time.
Uh-huh.
And he opens his mouth, and then he says, and foam begins to foam from his mouth, and he
Probably
collapses
shouldn't
to
have
the
eaten
ground.
those scones.
By the way, Morezi, you feel fine, but no one has said that they drank the tea except for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't drink the tea. I had this thought in my head the whole time. Don't drink the tea.
Morezi.
Yeah, that's why
But
you didn't
scones
drink the
are
tea.
shit.
Morezi, grab the
Tix,
cabin
Tix. Yeah, you grab the...
Cabin boy, small child.
Tix, can you
Okay.
help him? And don't say no, because if we walk out of here and he's dead, they're going to think we did it.
I go over and check him over and see how badly he is affected, and will use my protection from evil and cure light wounds on him.
You give me a healing, a medicine check.
Okay. That is a 19.
19. Well, it didn't take much. You didn't need much to know that he had been poisoned, but you recognize the general class of poisons. It actually seizes up the lungs and causes asphyxiation in a very short period of time. And you actually cast your Cure Light Wounds, and how much does that cure for?
Is for 12 points.
12 points, and he does that. However, he is still poisoned, and he's still not doing great, but he is not dying at the moment, which he was a moment before. Merezi, you step back into the back room where the cabin boy disappeared, and you see the window being opened as the cabin boy is making its way out the window.
So how do I do a grapple check? Gonna fight this little man. I'm not gonna fight him. I'm gonna grab the child.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a grapple check?
Yes, that is on your sheet as a grapple.
Get out of your
16.
grapple, you've got problems.
I rolled a 16, a 10, and 6.
10 and 6. And that is... He rolls an 18. And he slips through your finger as you grab the shirt, the loose cabin boy shirt comes away. There's an odd moment where the image blurs for a moment, and the cabin shirt that you're holding is actually a black cloak, and a figure that is definitely not a cabin boy is slipping out the window.
And is there anything else I can do about this?
We shall
gone?
we shall have to see, because Osokai the bear, right behind Zuana, is walking into the bunting. As all buntings, it has a secret opening. You open the opening, and a human comes out, which totally surprises you, by the way, because it is well known that any, non-monstrous or non-hated race that goes into a bunting will be instantly killed. But the human is coming out, and it is coming out with a you know this look. The human is someone quote unquote important, even though they are disguised somewhat. And the person behind them is their bodyguard, is their, knight, is somebody important who is protecting them. And they are coming out, and they see both of you, or more importantly, they see Zuana. They don't really pay attention to you. And the bodyguard knight type person says, "Back, elf!" And she just glares at him. But the two of them make their way past. And she turns to you and says, "That was very strange." And you make your way into the bunting, and it is just filled with smoke. There is very little ventilation here. It is very loud inside. You wonder if there's some minor spell to help disguise the sounds from inside. Most of it appears to be a tavern of a kind, and there is a lot of drinking. You see at least one ogre. They're kind of hard to miss. It goes down quite deep. Again, the shape is like a bunting, that basically a U curve. There's just a bunch of monsters, non-quote-unquote good races, drinking in this bar. Is there anything that you would like to do?
There is nothing Osokai can do as a bear except just watch. He will keep an eye out for groups of drow.
You do keep an eye out, and you do see 3 drow. There are 3 drow, a woman and 2 men, and they are in a corner speaking to each other quietly.
Using my snout, nudge Zuana and point using my snout in that direction while huffing.
She glances over and she nods, and she leans down to you and she says, "We had best not be discovered by them." But she moves sort of in an inconspicuous way. There are three of them. One of them is as I said, a female, and she is wearing a kind of partial plate armor. There's also a male in robes, and there's also a male in like studded leather. Female, the one in dark armor, looks up and she looks to Zuana and she says, "Ah, come join us for a drink." And would anyone like to do anything in here? Tix or Pinton?
Well, they're not here.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Back to Pinton, Morezi, and Osokai. Would y'all like to do anything?
Do a heal check.
Yes.
With my healing kit, I'm going to find pin quill or something to shove down Loft's throat and make him regurgitate the poison.
Okay. Roll for that.
And that is a 22.
Nice. So you find, you reach into one of his pockets and find one of his own quills, and you stick it down and and he just and just streams of vomit come out, and you suspect that he is, if not doing great, then is no longer in danger of immediate death. And Pinton, is there Pinton, is there anything that you would like to do?
Well, seeing as he seems to have things in hand, I'm going to take a look outside. Well, first I want to see if, I want to go the other way and see if Morezi needs help, because Morezi ran off that way, and make sure and back them up, make sure that everything's okay there.
Okay.
I just realized there's been an inordinate amount of puking in this series.
Yes. And it's
a trend.
It's definitely me facing my fears, because one of my most hated things is both puking and the sound of puking. I hate them so much, and so I'm clearly. I also have a great fear of breaking bones, which is why a lot of that happens as well. So just a little insight to old Michael. So you come to the. You come to the back room, and there you see Morezi holding a black cloak and an open window.
Small child escaped, but when I removed his cloak, he became more than a small child.
Became more than one small child?
No.
Were they like doing the shoulder sitting thing?
Larger.
That's great.
They were trying to sneak into Black Panther.
Oh, you mean it wasn't it wasn't a child, right?
Yes.
I'll run to the window and see if I can.
That was obvious.
I'll run to the window and see if there's still anything to see.
You see a figure in the distance, and make a perception check.
14.
14. You are pretty sure it's the one running away, but you can't really make out any details.
All right, I'm going to launch myself out the window and go after him.
Okay. You take off running, and you are actually closing in on them, because as you said, you're pretty fast. I would like you to make an... what would you like to do?
I'd like to catch up to him, and if I can, use my staff to thrust it forward and try and trip him.
All right, go ahead and make that roll.
Hey, that's a 17.
17. You deftly stick your staff forward, and the figure goes down in a heap. Boom! Down. And the figure spins around, and you see in the growing gloom of the day, as night is beginning to fall, it looks up at you, and it has the red eyes of a drow and the long white hair of a drow, and it is a woman in all black leather armor. And as the first little bits of moonlight are beginning to spill out from the evening, you see the glistening of black scales. And that ends Chafing Armor number 39. What's going on with these other scaly boys? We will find out soon. Thank you all for playing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I was so hoping he would do it.
Anytime.
I was so hoping.
Thanks, Mickey.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. So thank you all for listening. Check us out on iTunes, on Stitcher, on your podcatcher of choice. Check us out on YouTube. Share it. Let other people know about it. We're having so much fun with this, and we want you all to have fun too. If you want to send me an email, you can at Mr. Corley, that's MrCorley @gmail.com. Y'all take care, and we will roll with you soon. Great job, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
I'm very tired.
Oh, did
I
you want
bet
to
you
plug
are.
did you want to plug the new Twitter account?
Oh, yes, good. I'll edit this in.
All right.
Okay. And we now have a Twitter account. It's very easy to find because it's called Chafing Armor. So go to @Chafing Armor to hear all of the latest Chafing Armor news.